James Twin for the Untouchable, True School Sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable, True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is my official post-fight review of Artur Beterbiev versus Bivol, and your result of the fight is, I haven't checked the reaction yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be deemed as a controversial majority decision. Artur Beterbiev grinds out a decision victory over Bivol in Saudi Arabia to become boxing's first champion, undisputed light heavyweight champion in, 25 years, boxing's fourth undisputed champion in the history of the sport, joining the likes of Bob Foster, Michael Spinks, and Roy Jones Jr. So let's talk about the fight, because I really thought, personally, my personal scorecard, guys, I really thought it was a draw. I thought this fight was as close could be, because, in those first two rounds, I think in the first two rounds especially, Bivol did an amazing job of, just setting the pace of the fight, controlling Beterbiev from distance. And those first two rounds, they really skewed the Kanye box numbers, because he outlanded Beterbiev by, I think 10 or 12 punches the first round, and then 10 or 12 in the second round. So he won the first two rounds as I thought he would, very clearly. And then, as the fight wore on, I think the first 6 rounds, Bivol probably won about 4 of the first 6 rounds, and then Beterbiev closed stronger towards the end. I think Beterbiev, it took him. He did look old. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Beterbiev looked his age of 40 years old in this particular fight. I think it took him a long time to really get into his rhythm. But once we got to about round 6, 7, 8, I thought Beterbiev was starting to really do a great job of placing those shots to the body. And the thing about Beterbiev, and this is why I always thought that even if Bivol was outboxing Beterbiev in a lot of these rounds, in any sort of close rounds in this fight, I always thought that Beterbiev would get some of those close rounds, or get enough close rounds to win the fight, because Beterbiev's punches are more telling. So even if he doesn't even necessarily land, if he just grazes Bivol on the temple or hits the arm, he moves back. So a judge, who doesn't have, who has a different vantage point than we do, they may score that shot. And so I thought, if this fight did go to the cards, I thought Beterbiev had a chance to nick a lot of the rounds because of the thudding power and the physical strength. And he clearly, to me, I give Bivol a lot of credit. I think one of the best things Bivol did in this fight was singing that right hand down to the body. It was there a lot. The biggest criticism I would have of Bivol was that he wasn't throwing that right hand to the body enough, more often. Obviously, when you commit to a right hand down to the body, you run the risk of getting caught in the pocket. But it landed at will, and a lot of times Beterbiev kept a very good, tight, patient, methodical defense. But the stomach, the body was open. So I think Bivol could have landed that punch a lot more. I know there'll be people that cry and say, "Oh, well, Bivol got robbed." I don't think anybody got robbed. If they would have given it to Bivol, I think that would have been fair and just. I thought Bivol won enough rounds, and there were plenty of rounds in this fight where Bivol slowed the pace down and was in and out and catching Beterbiev with the 1-2 down the middle and the right hand of the body. There was enough of those rounds where you could say Bivol won 6 rounds, but then to me, there was also enough rounds from Beterbiev where he was landing the more telling shots, moving Bivol back, landing to the body, and to me, we've seen this so many times over the years. How many times have we seen this movie, guys, in boxing, where the more skillful, not skillful, but the more mobile, agile boxer with the foot speed advantage, he banks those early rounds, he looks really good, and then down the stretch, he doesn't look quite as good, and the harder thudding puncher picks it up in the middle to later rounds, and things kind of tighten up, and the guy who's the harder puncher finishes the fight strong. We've seen this movie so many times in boxing, and I always say, in fights that are razor close, of massive consequence, you want to be the guy that finishes the fight stronger. And I thought Bivol fought a very great fight. He showed in this fight that he's a masterful boxer. Even if he lost this fight, he's done what no other man has done in all of boxing, which is go the distance with Artur Beterbiev, and not just be competitive, but more than give a great account of himself and have a very great claim to win the fight. So he showed his mettle tonight. He to me is still one of the best light heavyweights to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves, even in defeat, Bivol. But he didn't have enough to keep Beterbiev off of him. Beterbiev closed the gap. Beterbiev landed the more telling shots, and he was able to win it on the scorecards because of that. So I think this fight, like, you know, I picked it right. You know, I did pick it right, and Sean Zattel picked it right too. So shout out to Sean Zattel. It's a true school Zattel. It's Zattel true school era. But in all seriousness, you know, I think they do need to run it back. I think Beterbiev, if he's gonna be the undisputed light heavyweight champion, he needs to win it more conclusively than that. I don't think he won like conclusively enough. I think there was enough in this fight for Bivol. If you go back to the lab and you game plan for a rematch, now you got 12 rounds of data to pick apart what you could do better with Beterbiev. And I think Bivol could come back and probably win a rematch. I'd probably even favor him to win a rematch because there was enough chinks in the armor where I could say he beats Beterbiev, honestly. But I think if you were gonna give a guy the nod, and I know I'm gonna get flamed for this in the comments, if you were gonna give a guy the nod in this fight, personally for me, I thought very slightly by the hairs of his chinny chin, you give it to Beterbiev, only because you know, we always hear it in boxing, and I've cried about fights in the past where I thought the boxer won and got robbed. He landed the harder, more telling shots, and that counts for something. Because remember, this isn't the amateurs. This isn't you know, like you tag me, I tag you. This is professional boxing. So the guy that can land the more telling shots in a fight of consequence that's close is going to get a decision. That's normally how it goes, whether I like it or not. There's been fighters I liked in the past that were the boxer, and they fought the puncher, and I thought they schooled them. But guess what? The puncher landed the more telling shots, and he got the decision. So it's the same thing here. It's the same exact thing here with Beterbiev and Bivol. And yeah, you know, I'm a little disappointed in Beterbiev's performance. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here just because I picked it right. Like, I am disappointed in his performance. I thought he took extremely long to really get started. His best round, I believe, was the 10th or the 11th round, the only round where he was really like using angles and in the pocket and at the range he wanted and dominating. All the other rounds that I gave him, he won those rounds, but he was landing a lot of arm punches. Luckily for him, he's so strong, even an arm punch can move a guy like Bivol. But like I said, just because I picked it right and just because he won doesn't mean I'm overly impressed with Beterbiev. You know, that was a performance where, you know, I really wanted to give the winner of this fight pound for pound number one status, because I really respect the fact that two guys as great as these two finally fought each other. But I just don't think Beterbiev wasn't quite dominant enough for me to give him that number one throne. And Bivol, he fought a great fight. You know, definitely he is what everybody thinks he is. He's a master boxer. But again, like Sean Zattel just said on the live when he called me, Oshaki Foster, like, think about that fight with Robinson Conceição. He was winning the fight, or he was preceding winning the fight, but what did he do? He let his foot off the gas, and the referee saw, and the judges saw different fights. So you never know in boxing what the judges are looking at. You can never, as the boxer in a fight against the front foot dominant, power punching fighter, ever give the judges any chances to give him a round. Because what winds up happening in boxing, and I'm gonna explain to you guys something about scoring, is if a guy is let's say he's the master boxer, and he's winning these rounds by a big margin. If that margin tightens up down the stretch, even if he won that round, like, they'll give the round to the other guy just because he didn't win by as much. That happens in boxing all the time. Like, to me, a great example of that would be like when Sergey Kovalev fought Andre Ward. You know, I thought Kovalev won that fight pretty easily, but down the stretch, he wasn't winning those rounds as wide as he was early in the fight. So a lot of the judges were giving Andre Ward rounds he wasn't really winning, and it's the same thing here with Bivol and Beterbiev. So listen, congrats to Artur Beterbiev. He is a great fighter. He is now put himself amongst the all-time greats of boxing. And I'm gonna say it like this, man. I don't even care if he lost the fight. Dimitri Bivol, even in defeat, to me, I still look at him as an all-time great light heavyweight, because he didn't win the fight, but he's done what other man has done. He defused the bomb. He defused the bomb known as Beterbiev, and he went the full distance with him, and he showed his class. He showed the ability to neutralize the opponent, to foot feint. He even showed some grit. He even showed the ability to stay in that pocket and at times, for brief moments in time, and land that big right hand to the stomach. And you know, it just, I just don't like the fact that in the last like 4 rounds, I just felt like he kind of let himself down there, and he let the judges take his moment of glory away, where I thought he had Beterbiev beat. Like, I'll be real, like, Beterbiev tonight wasn't the Beterbiev that I'm used to seeing. And Bivol had him beat, but he let himself down there towards the end. So it was a high level fight. This fight was for the hardcores. There were so many just things going on in there from a tactical standpoint. Bivol did a great job of not allowing Beterbiev to pin him on the ropes as much. Beterbiev did a great job, even with the fight being in the center of the ring to still, you know, be patient, land his power jab, eventually make the adjustment in the middle rounds of landing those shots to the body to slow Bivol down just a little bit. And he grinded it out. Listen, it's boxing. When you get two great fighters, I'm not talking about two media creations. I'm not talking about fighters that are just good fighters that the media wants to say is great. No, because there's a lot of that in boxing these days. I'm talking about two guys that really and truthfully, like at the highest level, they have like they're A+ around the board. Like that's what these two guys are. You put these guys in the ring against anybody else in the division, they'll wash them easy. Because that's the level they're operating at. But yeah, when you get these kind of fights with two guys at that level, you will always get these kind of close fights. We've seen it in the past. Think about like Sugar Ray Leonard Hagler, De La Hoya, Trinidad, you know, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So Dimitri Bivol did not fulfill the Pernell Whitaker prophecy tonight of being the pound number one because he didn't get the decision. He's not undisputed, but it was such a great fight tactically, and it was such a chess match that I think that it does warrant a rematch. I think as much as I like Beterbiev, I don't think that he won the fight conclusively enough for you to sit here and say, like, you know, he is the best light heavyweight in the world. I still think there's going to be a gang of people saying that Bivol beat Beterbiev and that's going to warrant a rematch, you know? So, you know, I'll have more to say on this later on. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the decision? I've seen people say that, like, Bivol won 8-4. I don't see how he won 8-4 because, like I said, in these kind of fights, when you got a guy like Beterbiev, if a round is close, he's gonna win that close round because he's landing the more telling shots. Bivol had to either in a lot of these rounds he had to either like dominate the round and just by outlanding him or just not get touched. You know, he couldn't have close rounds against Beterbiev because if they're both landing the same amount of shots, the guy who lands harder is Beterbiev. He will get a lot of close rounds, and judging by the scorecards, that's what I think the judges saw. I think the judges saw a guy that was in enough close rounds who was landing the harder, more thudding shots, and they gave him those rounds. Professional boxing 101, professional boxing judging 101. If you've watched boxing and you've studied scorecards, you know these things. But I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy this fight, and I'll have a lot to say about it on a live here very soon. But I want to hear from you guys. What was your personal scorecard? I personally, I can't even fully get happy about the win for Beterbiev because, like I said, I had it a draw myself. So I don't even think he really won. I thought it was a draw. And I think that it does need a rematch. And I think that they're both great fighters. And I think that there's a lot to prove. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it was a robbery? Do you guys think Bivol won? Do you guys think Beterbiev won? And yeah, do you want to see a rematch? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.